Are feral mammoths any good? Usually found in the Norskin roster, the feral mammoth is also available to Rakarth of the Thousand Maws, so the Dark Elf roster is relevant as well. You will also find them as essentially guest monsters in Chaos Dwarf military convoys, their version of caravans. But how do you get the most out of these beasts? Let's find out! Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider joining through my Ko-fi page. Coffee is good. Coffee is life. Weighing in at a mammoth 12,988 hit points on Ultra, the Feral Mammoth has a relatively squishy 30 armor, no innate missile resistance, leadership of 55, which means that it will run long before it dies, and a brisk speed of 56. Melee attack is 30, which is fairly miserable, and attack interval is 3.5, which is shockingly fast. Max splash targets damaged is 10, or twice as much as a War Hydra. Melee defense is 28, which is not horrible for a monster, but that only underlines how terrible the melee attack number is. The Hydra had 55, you see. Weapon strength is 525, with base damage of 155, armor piercing of 370, and a bonus versus infantry of 34, a mammoth bonus indeed. Charge bonus is 68, mass is 6,000, as in more than a soul grinder and equal to Scarbrand. The Feral Mammoth is a siege attacker, inflicts both fear and terror, and has Rampage, the bad, old version. The Feral Mammoth first strikes us as some kind of giant, something you'd want to plunge into melee and have it fight until something breaks or it dies. But that's absolutely not so. It is essentially a four-legged, giant-sized chariot unit, specialized at terrorizing and flattening infantry, even elite infantry, and relatively pathetic at fighting larger-than-man-sized targets, though its damage is still very solid. Moreover, its charge bonus is right up there with chariot units, adding immensely to the likelihood that you will hit targets while going in. The trick, therefore, is to keep the mammoth from going feral too often, and to repeat charges over and over again until more of your foes break. Basically, if you want it in pitched battle, you want it battling infantry. Dwarf problems? Send in a mammoth. Chosen? Send a mammoth. Yes, it'll take damage, and it'll take more damage if the enemy is anti-large, but it will not respect enemy armor and will hit fairly often, with a wide range of enemies damaged. Standard Norskin lords don't have a very complicated set of buffs. Monsters of the North adds a maximum of plus 6 melee attack and melee defense, and Hulks of Death adds 12 armor, plus 12% weapon strength, and 8% ward save for mammoths above rank 7. So, using the mammoth isn't complicated. You're fighting against the Rampage, but almost 13k HP on Ultra is a lot of buffer. Ideally, you're doing whatever you can to keep leadership high to take advantage of the chaos a mammoth creates, and if all else fails, win the battle with the mammoth licking its wounds, having inflicted what it could. In the end, what's the best way to use a mammoth, really? Well, that's to have a lord get to the proper level and use one as a mount. That's what. No more Rampage then. The Dark Elves use the mammoth pretty similarly, except only as a unit, never a mount. They also have convenient ways to zap a rampaging feral mammoth to remove the rampage status for a time. Either way, you're definitely using them as agents of chaos. Since you know rampaging is inevitable, it's your job to point them at infantry, preferably where they can take the most advantage, and just hope that they can do their thing enough to justify their existence. Once again, it comes down not simply to what the unit can do, but to what other units can do when terror rages amidst the battlefield. Cavalry? Fast monsters? Chariots? Magic? It's all good. Look, mammoth! It sounds much scarier than saying squirrel, doesn't it? And the mammoth is real, so yeah, use the fact it's a huge noisy distraction, and take advantage. The mass and overall power makes it hard to stop a mammoth using infantry, even anti-large infantry, so the most popular way to take one down is through simple use of applied physics, namely lots and lots of gunpowder or arrows, or both. You frustrate this by looking at the front line as a piece of tissue paper, not as a brick wall. tear through it, and the Mammoth is suddenly staring down at puny handgunners and is rather annoyed with them. The Feral Mammoth is for taking the fight to the enemy. Do so. Take care and have mammoth amounts of fun, turning your opponents into blood-curdled cheese.